Infinite blessings and love. Namaste, namaskaram. This is Om Oracle Tarot, and this is Capricorn's mid-month soul path check-in for the mid-month of November to the end of November 2022. Now, I have to say that these are general readings and may not resonate with everyone. If they don't, that's all right. There's plenty of other great YouTube tarot readers that you can check out. If you'd like to get in contact with me, you can do so in the comments of the video. You can also get in contact with me at the Om Oracle Tarot Instagram page, of which there's only one, and the link for that is below in the description of this video. And if any of this reading resonates with you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, as it is really most appreciated, and I appreciate all of you. I also want to send a big heartfelt sense of gratitude out to all those who have liked, shared, subscribed, and donated. It really does mean so much, and again, thank you so much. I also want to remind everybody to check your other placements, your sun, moon, and rising signs, as it can help give you a broader picture of what may be going on. You can also check out the beginning of the month readings that I offer here, and you can also check out the full moon and the new moon readings that I also offer here at Om Oracle Tarot. Excuse me. All right, without any further ado, please give us a message for what is on Capricorn's soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. 3 cards, please. Now, I only take uprights, and I only take jumpers from the deck. 1 more card, please. Thank you. Alrighty. So we have the Hierophant, the Hangman, the Knight of Wands, and at the bottom, we have the 7 of Swords. All right. So we start out with the Hierophant. So mid-month, and I think that at the beginning of the month reading, and maybe even into October, you were getting a similar kind of thing of with the Hierophant. You are going through this spiritual level up. Now, for some of you, you may also be seeking some sort of spiritual counsel at this time, connecting with your spiritual guides, whether they be in the physical or in the astral. But it does appear that you are doing that. And with this level up, you're doing a lot of learning here. And we have the Hangman card. So all of this, and even before this, has kind of led up to this Hangman, where you are getting this new perspective on things, your life, your life's path, and yourself as well. And you're kind of surrendering to this flow, and you're kind of letting go here. You're also breaking old patterns, and that's part of why you're having this spiritual level up, is because you are breaking some of these old patterns here. Now, you may initially, I feel like, mid-month, you may be feeling like there's a pause, or like the energy feels a little slow, but as we get closer to November, things are definitely speeding up for you. So we have the Knight of Wands, which is a faster moving energy here. So there is definitely something that you are taking action towards, and you're really stepping onto this new leg of your adventure. And I feel like you have been on what you could term as an adventure for the past month and a half, perhaps. but you once you get this new perspective, and there's something that you're going to learn here that contributes to this new perspective. But when this happens and you surrender and let go, that's when the real adventure begins, and that's when things begin to speed up. And at the bottom, this is all writing on this Seven of Swords energy. So you are, it's kind of both on this. You are being strategic in who your counsel is. I feel like you're letting go and breaking old patterns, but you're doing this incrementally, and you're being strategic of, like, you're kind of keeping some stuff around, and and there's nothing wrong with that. We all are moving at our own pace, so do what you feel is comfortable, of course. But you are being strategic about letting some things go, keeping other things, and at some point down the road, your plan is to also let some of those other things go as well. There is also a trickery energy, and I don't feel like it's you. There is a trickery, energy in your sphere of reality. So somewhere, there is some deception taking place. Someone is potentially trying to deceive you or get one over on you, something like that. But this does seem to be kind of a minor note, and I am pretty sure we're going to get some more information on that in just a moment. All right, this is the Scrying Eye Oracle deck. We'll get 3 and a bottom card from the top split, and then we'll do the same with the bottom split. All right. Please give us 3 cards for what is on Capricorn's soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. 3 cards, please. All right. World eclipse. Whew. All right. So there's something serious, and not in a bad way, but there's definitely some transformation taking place. 1 more, please. All right, here we go. All right, we have World Eclipse, the Brujo, and the Caves of Dither. Now, I have to say, this World Eclipse card is the first card in the deck in how they're numbered, and the card is the last card in the deck as they're numbered. So you have the beginning and the end right here. Or you could even see the beginning as the end and the end as the beginning. Not to confuse you, though. So let me just read the card here. Give you a look at the card. World Eclipse card. So you're definitely kind of going into this adventure that definitely has infinite potential here. And there's been an event that was definitely a catalyst in this. I feel like getting all this learning and this new perspective under your belt is definitely the catalyst in moving forward here. But there's definitely change here. You're going through a transformation and a lot of growth here. And and I feel like this is more perhaps in the beginning of November. You've experienced some sort of twist of fate here with this. But this does mark kind of heading towards success here, and there's it's like success is approaching, and this definitely marks like a new era in your story. Like I said, this new leg of your adventure. It's like a new chapter kind of moment here, and this is an auspicious kind of card to get here. All right, and then we have Umzo. So this is kind of like an Enzo circle, if you're familiar with that. But you're definitely coming into some self-realization elements, and it's kind of going beyond book learning. It's becoming more experiential, and you feel yourself kind of merging. And this is where this new perspective comes in, to where you've kind of done your learning, your research, your practice up until this point, and this gives you this new perspective about your oneness with the divine. And this really changes how you move in the world, and this is what's sparking this quick pace forward. And this also speaks of releasing here and letting go of attachments. So you're really shedding the false here, and this also gives you a little oomph to really get going. As you shed the false, you're kind of seeing what's real. Then we have Brujo. So this roughly translates, the word Brujo roughly translates to witch or sorcerer or things of this nature. And in other traditions, in say Siberia, this would be considered a shaman. But this is more of the South American and Mexican practitioner here. And I don't know if I showed this. But this is definitely speaking of earth magic and finding more faith in the spirit here, in spirits, multiple. You are receiving this spiritual vision. You may be engaged in some level of plant ceremony, plant medicine, rituals like this. But you're definitely coming into this very powerful spiritual energy that I feel like is somewhat separate from this. This is its own thing going on here, and this is something kind of new, I feel like. So you are coming in contact with some new spirit allies. And for some of you, perhaps powers gained from magic plants, magical practices, things like this. Definitely the supernatural here. But this is definitely an energy that commands respect in all aspects of the word here. Interesting. All right, and then we have the Caves of Dither here. I feel like this might be talking about before you embark on your adventure, before you kind of have this realization, you find yourself in the caves of dither type of energy here, where you may have this feeling, and this may be prior to mid-November, this might be beginning of November, but there's this idea in your head that you've fallen from grace to a certain extent. This has kind of left you in kind of an indecision type of mode. You kind of feel yourself in kind of a limbo kind of. And this might have been creating some agitation, perhaps some confusion or nervousness. But you have been weighing up some options here of which direction to go, because at the onset of the mid-November, neither direction seems desirable here. So you are in this hesitation initially. This is where this pause might be coming into play here. You kind of feel this information overload, and that's what's kind of creating this stalemate type of energy. I'm not really sure how to word this, but there's definitely a pause. But this does seem to be a temporary energy, because once you gain this knowledge and get this new perspective, you're in movement pretty quick. So it does appear that you are getting the information needed to one, make this decision, but also be excited about the direction you're going, because you again have this new perspective, which means you have a new perspective on one of these paths that is kind of before you here. And then we have voyage of narrow escape here. So with this deceptive or trickery here, I feel like you narrowly escaped this energy of perhaps someone kind of scheming on you. Excuse me. So we have, as you can see, these what appears to be these people are escaping on this boat, and there is a figure on the shore, which is just right behind them. So this is kind of how I feel like this is kind of you on the boat here, and this is that trickery energy right behind you. So you narrowly avoided disaster, I feel like, in some area. It's not really clear. And you may actually get wind of this, is kind of what I'm hearing. And this is in part why you are going to start moving so quickly. So there's a couple things of why you're moving so quickly. One, you get this new perspective from this spiritual realization, but also you kind of realize like, oh, this person's scheming on me, and so you're like, okay, this direction seems great now, opposed to staying where you are, where this energy would definitely catch up to you. But you are leaving this past energy behind, and you are moving forward and pretty quickly, which seems to be in your benefit here. All right. 3 cards, please, for what is on Capricorn's soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. Thank you. All right, we have path to heaven, the light and dark unite, invoking the light, and at the bottom we have through the porthole. So this is the path to heaven. And again, I say this for every reading. These are not religious specific readings. These are talking about energies here. So this would be the energy of heaven here. So you are on this way to this inner heaven. This could be outer heaven. This is not talking about going to heaven, but this is this energy of this path that you're on is kind of this path to heaven. So heaven is the highest astral realm, or one of the highest, or this highest place of bliss. And it's like when people are in paradise, they're like, oh, I'm in heaven right now, that type of energy here. But you're definitely going to where darkness cannot follow. As this dark figure cannot ascend up this path. It has to, what always looks like to me is they have to stand at the bottom and sell concessions of the t-shirt of Been to Heaven 2023 t-shirts down at the bottom here. But you are gaining this ease of passage as you move forward here. And again, this darker energy, this trickery, this schemer cannot actually follow where you are going. But you're starting to feel this, especially with this spiritual realization. You're starting to feel kind of weightless in this soft kind of ascending energy here. And this really turns your journey into a really beautiful one as you leave the darkness behind. And I feel like by the end of November, you are feeling like pretty excited about where you're at and where you're going. And you're really moving forward with this open heart and a lot of gratitude. Then we have this light and dark unite here. So you are really integrating, and a lot of this comes from this spiritual realization. You're really integrating your light and your dark. You actually see that they're both one from this new perspective place. And when you kind of bring these two, what would appear to be opposite or opposing forces together, this really brings power. They're much more powerful together than they are parceled out here. So you are finding this unity and this balance between your light and your dark. And this is bringing a lot of harmony to your journey here. Moving forward, you're moving forward fast, but you also feel patient because you know you're on your purpose and you know you're right where you're supposed to be. This is definitely creating this healing type of vibration. You're kind of healing yourself by doing this. And kind of stepping forward with this peaceful power. And we have invoking the light. So you are definitely and when it's invoking the light, this is invoking the divine. And in the past, you may have had an issue with that because you felt separate from the divine. But now you're seeing that there's this oneness, and so you have no problem calling that in. Now, I have to also mention, this says invoking, not evoking, invoking. So when you invoke something, you're calling it into your being. When you evoke something, it's like you're just saying like, hey, come here. So definitely quite a bit different, but you are invoking the divine here. You're wielding this divine force as you move forward. And this really allows you to command power. You have power over the darkness, and this is what's allowing you to integrate these things. This is also coming through with some divine protection on your path. And this is really a undefeatable kind of combo here. This makes you feel really strong and is giving you a lot of courage. All right. And at the bottom we have through the porthole. So all of this, and I feel like even the past couple months, this has been a rite of passage for you. And this passage, everybody comes to this in their own unique way. Now, what they come to is all the same recognition, but the path there is all unique, and then what you do with this afterwards is also unique. But this is this rite of passage that everybody must go through. But you are shifting dimensions with this spiritual level up. You're going to where these types of energies can't even reach you here. So you're kind of shifting your energy completely where, like I said, like one of these, you're kind of looking at both paths and in this cave of dither, like none of them seem appealing. But now you get this new perspective and you are more than eager to get on your path. So, and this comes from this energy shift. You're passing these spiritual tests. And when you step through this porthole, there really is no going back. When you step into this, there's really no going back. It's like once you know something, you can't unknow it. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. It's there. So you are receiving some secret, say secret, but you're receiving some wisdom. And it's only secret because it actually can't be spoken of without like using poetry or something like that. So this is also speaking of something is potentially trying to enter your energy sphere, but as you ascend and you go through, it can't actually follow you through. So you're leveling up and out here. So you're kind of stepping into this whole new world and this whole new you as you do that. All right. Please give us 2 or 3 cards for what is on Capricorn's soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. 2 or 3 cards, please. Thank you. All right, so we have certainty, flower of life, and commitment. So certainty here. This is a buffalo charging forward here. And this certainty of this spiritual realization, this self-realization, this new perspective of that is giving you such a level of certainty. It's like you know that you know. You know that you know what is beyond knowing. And of course, like intellectually, this doesn't make sense because it's beyond time and space. It's beyond a knower. But you do have this certainty about it. This is leaves this indelible mark on your entire being, and this is what's causing you to charge forward in the way that you are, is this certainty. We have the flower of life here. So this is, you're also realizing that the nature of the fabric of reality here. And it's like this flower of life is all like this goddess that we are made of. Our bodies, our physical body is all made of this flower of life. Everywhere we look, even if we don't see it physically, this is what we're looking at, is this flower of life, this goddess here. And that's part of what is kind of gleaned from this spiritual realization here. This is also speaking of sacred geometry. So with this plant medicine may also be aiding you in some of this level up here. But like I said, I feel like it's a little bit separate, but this is all like kind of pushing you towards this PowerPoint here, or PowerPoint. This is pushing you into this like kind of position of this wielding this power. And then we have commitment. So as you embark on this journey, you're definitely 100% committed to this path. And this is what this certainty of this spiritual realization does for you. And for some of you, this may also be speaking of a committed relationship to a certain extent. And if that's the case, we'll get a little bit more about this. But and then we have commitment. You're committed to the process of this. And this is also to people in a visionary, ecstatic visionary state. So again, with this plant medicine, in either a ritual or things of that nature, but getting this spiritual vision. All right, please give us 2 or 3 cards for what is Capricorn's inner climate like, inner landscape like, for what is on their soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. Two or three cards, please. Okay, that's way too many. 2 or 3 cards, please. I do try to keep the cards to a minimum, otherwise we end up with a 4-hour reading, and that just doesn't work. All right, thank you. We have Golden Orb Spider and the Orangutan. So with the spider is messenger. So you are kind of becoming a messenger as you move forward. You can't, even though this doesn't make sense to talk about, it's like you almost can't help but talk about this. You're also going to be receiving, you're also going to be receiving a lot of spiritual messages as you go forward. You might even be receiving some messages about this person kind of scheming on you a little bit. Then we have balance. So again, with this balanced energy, and this realization really does bring about this incredible level of balance. and awareness. And this is all taking place in your awareness. You're almost seeing what's at the root of your awareness here, which also gives you the information about what is God, who are you, what is reality, what's looking through your eyes right now. And then it says design. So like I said about reality and this flower of life, you're realizing the design of this whole reality in this time and space that we perceivably find ourselves in, and that your path has been divinely designed. And then we have the orangutan, and this is a baby or a child orangutan here. So there is definitely something about nurturing this inner child here. And I feel like this realization really kind of sets this inner child free from whatever has had it bound in the past. And it says laughter. So when this hits, and it trust me, it hits, you can't help but laugh. You probably laugh and cry, in a beautiful kind of way. Curiosity. So this also opens up this curiosity about almost everything that might be on your path. You're no longer stepping lightly on your path. You're going full force, and you are excited no matter what comes your way. And again, with this patience. So this really does bring about this high level of patience here, and play. Again, this inner child is kind of free to play and dance and do whatever it wants to do. When this realization hits, all dogmatic bindings or these ideas of right and wrong kind of go out the window. You kind of find yourself in harmony with the law of the universe here. And so this really does open up this space for play and kind of just within the law of the universe, kind of doing what you want to do. All right. 3 cards, please, for what is on Capricorn's soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. 3 cards, please. Jeepers. All right, 3 cards, please. Three cards, please. Oh, man. 3 cards, please. Thank you. 1 more, please. All right. Oh boy. This card just fell out on the ground while I was pulling it, so we're going to have it right here. All right. And it says, down here it says, forget it. But then up here it says, forget T. And they have forgotten, to add the I. So forget this I here. And this is what this realization, everything's kind of coming into this card here. This realization of yourself. Really allows you to see the flimsiness of this concept that we call I. And that it has a lot to do with a mental construct of I. And when you drop this, which this will cause you to drop it, because you see the flimsiness of it. And you see how restrictive this I is. So in the past, you've been like, oh, well, and watch how I say this, I can't go here. I don't want to go on either of these paths, or I shouldn't do this, or I need to watch out for that, or I wouldn't do this, or I would feel bad if all of these things kind of go out the window when you forget this I. And you find this certain level of freedom here. Now, it's not gone forever. You just see that it is part of the a construct of the networking of the mind or the brain. Then we have, you are our God. And this has this heart here. So you're kind of realizing the nature of God, the nature of yourself. And that at the root of your perception, you are love. And like it's said in so many traditions, God is love. You and God are this same love. You can't separate it out, especially not after this takes place. It's like you have a bonfire and you take a matchstick that's on fire and you place it in there. You can't then go in and find that piece of fire that you once identified as I and then take it back out of the fire and be like, well, this is I. Even if you take it out, it's different. It's become one with the whole of the fire that is God, or the divine, however you word it, whatever your path is, God, the divine, the spirit. These are all words. And it says, does consciousness ring a bell? Consciousness. So this is kind of why you're in this pause. You've been waiting for your mind, essentially, your brain, to ring this bell and say, okay, you've got it. It's time to go. But consciousness doesn't ring a bell. Your mind is not going to ring the bell, because when you realize this, the mind has to take a back seat. So the mind will play all kind of games with you in order for you not to realize this. And even after you realize this, the mind will still be going and trying to convince you that it wasn't true, or that doesn't make sense, or it'll try to pull you into some identification with this I again. So again, don't wait for the mind or the brain to say, okay, you got it, now you can go. Because it's not going to do that for you. You almost have to, you set the I down, you also set the mind down. It's still there, it's still functioning, but now it's in its right place, and it can focus on what the mind is supposed to do instead of running these false narratives, or vacillating on the past, or hyper-focusing on what could be in the future. And then we have the dream. So now you have this freedom to go live this dream. Whatever your dream is, you have this freedom and the power to go live this dream. In part, this comes from the realization that this reality that we find ourselves in is very much dreamlike. It's in constant flux. It's constantly changing. But it is the mind, the brain, and how we identify with ourselves that gives us this flimsy perception that it is stationary and it's always the same and it's been the same, and this is this dream. It's like you can have the same dream 2 or 3 nights in a row, but it's only when you wake up from the dream that you realize, like, oh, I had that dream this is my third night in a row I've had that dream. While you're in the dream, you're in the dream. You don't necessarily realize that it's a dream and that this is a dream you already had. It's only until you wake up that you realize it's a dream. All right. I gotta, yes. A few cycles ago, I forgot to press record and got quite a ways into the reading and realized that I had not recorded the reading. So I'm really, I really got to check that periodically. All right. Excuse me. Please give us 2 cards for what is on Capricorn's soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022. 2 cards, please. We have the lunar moth. The white buffalo. So we have the lunar moth. So you are going through this metamorphosis of the hangman. This is this metamorphosis, and when you get this new perspective, you're spreading your wings and you're taking flight on this new adventure as the lunar moth. Now we have the lunar moth, so this is speaking about the night, the moon. So do pay close attention to the planets, the transits, the moon cycles, the moon phases, as this will help give you a good idea about the timing of things, and you can also utilize the energies of these to your benefit also. I also have to add that the eclipse that we had on, was it the 8th or the 9th? I don't remember anymore. This probably hit pretty hard for you, and I feel like in a good way. This was kind of pretty impactful, this last couple eclipses. It's kind of boom, boom, boom for you. Perhaps keeping a journal as you move forward, because after you have this realization, it may be a little bit harder to keep things in line. You may have a hard time remembering some of the more mundane things. So do keep a journal. And we have the white buffalo. So this is a cultural figure in Native America. And she's holding this pipe here. So again, with this plant medicine, this earth magic here, the white buffalo and the brujo here. But in general, a actual white buffalo is considered a very auspicious sign and kind of marks this new era in a similar way as this eclipse card is talking about. So you are kind of, at least by the end of November, you're in, this, like I said, a whole new world, a whole new you here. All right. Please give us 3 cards for a final message. What would you like to leave Capricorns with for what's on their soul path for mid-November to the end of November 2022? 3 cards, please, for a parting message for our Capricorns. All right, we have the Two of Wands. Two more cards, please. Thank you. All right. Let's scooch these a little bit. So we have the Two of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the King of Wands, and at the bottom we have the Hermit. So with the Two of Wands, this is this kind of this cave of dither of there's a decision that must be made, this pause here, as this is kind of an on the fence card. Should I stay? Should I go? Which way should I go? I don't know. Should I stay on this castle or should I explore this terrain that I've just been reading about or looking at on this globe? But this is also speaking that you have the world in the palm of your hands, and it's time to embark on this journey here. Two of Wands also speaks of planning. So I feel like this is venture you have been planning for a moment, but there has been some hesitation and some pauses and life circumstances that have maybe kept you from that. But you are about to have a major discovery. This is this type of discovery changes lives forever, and this is kind of like a past life culmination to this very moment in time and space where you have this discovery. And then we have the Eight of Swords here. So this is definitely speaking about a self-imposed restriction, this pause, this indecision of neither of these paths really seem appealing initially. And the Spirit is wanting you to know that that is a self-imposed restriction. You may also, before this realization, you may also be having some negative thoughts, some looping kind of thought patterns, maybe feeling a certain level of victimhood or victim mentality type of things. But this realization, this discovery is going to kind of like wipe the slate clean on that. So, and then we have the King of Wands here. So you are coming into this, especially with the Brujo, this flower of life, and the white buffalo, this visionary type of energy. And I mean that in like the mystic visionary, this visionary journey through the astral realms. These types of things are definitely going to be coming around for you. And you're definitely going to be honored for this, but you're honoring this experience, if I can call it that. You're honoring this discovery, and you are going 100% with it. And at the bottom, we have the Hermit. So this is the Spirit saying you're going to want to, when this discovery hits, you're going to want to sit with it for as long as you can. This may be in part some of this pause, but you can also do this while you are embarking on your journey. But it's highlighting the importance of being alone, being withdrawn a little bit, and letting this be your inner guidance. If you could say inner guidance, when you realize this, you realize that everything is within you. And also meditation here. This meditation will really allow you to sink into this and forget this I more. But in also with the hermit and his lantern, his or her, you are becoming this like beacon of light. So you're going to kind of be withdrawing and be like, oh, I just want to like sit in the park by myself or whatever. But people are going to see this on you. This is going to be, you're going to be brimming with the light of this. And so you may find it a kind of challenging to be alone, because people are going to approach you, or just in general, like where maybe people were not like saying hello to you in the street or at the park or whatever. Everybody's going to be like, oh, hi, because there's something magnetic about this. Like I said, they'll be able to see it on you. And just like that, you're off on your adventure here, and you're taking inspired action towards your adventure, and you're moving very quickly here. Then we have the Five of Wands. So before this, there definitely is some tension going on. There may even be some conflict with this schemer who is... there's definitely a manipulative energy coming off of that. So there may be that there, and this may be creating some conflict energy. But you're also in this kind of training mode where you're learning these things before this hits. So the Spirit is putting that there so that you are aware. Then we have the Four of Swords. Excuse me. And so the Spirit is again highlighting the importance of meditation, contemplation, and just kind of like kicking your feet up and kind of recouping your energy, and just generally relaxing, unwinding, decompressing. I feel like when this hits, you're not really going to have a hard time decompressing. It'll be natural to decompress. And then we have the Six of Cups here. So this does, like the orangutan, you're really coming into this innocence of being, in this joyful exuberance, this childlike energy is really going to come to the forefront with this realization. And this is also speaking of when this hits, don't go back. Don't go backwards. Just move forward on your adventure. It's like you know exactly where to go when this takes place. All right, I see it down there, so I have to get it. All right. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So to have this realization, grace is on you. You have to have grace already. So you have grace. And so this is why this is taking place, and this is going to allow you to move forward with this grace, but with a lot of beauty and compassion here. And it's like you have this cup held high, and what's in this cup is this realization as you move forward here. So I think we'll go ahead, and I just saw what's underneath there. So underneath there is the Chariot card. I'll just pull it out because it's... So you are embarking on this journey. This is going to appear to be a very ambitious journey. Anybody who looks on you is going to be like, wow, They're very ambitious. But it's because of this certainty of this realization. This gives you a lot of confidence. And with whatever you're doing here, with this plant medicine ritual, brujo energy, uniting your light and your dark, and invoking the light or the divine, this really sets your willpower at a high. And it's like you're overcoming any obstacles, and you are highly driven here, but in this completely like relaxed, laid back kind of way. It's like your level of calmness is intense, if that makes any sense, and it will make sense. So we'll go ahead and leave this reading here. Capricorns, I want to send you a lot of love and encouragement. This looks fantastic, actually. So if any of this reading resonates with you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, as it is really most appreciated. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in, listening, and watching. It really does mean so much. And again, Capricorns, I'll catch you on the next go-round. Peace.